Alright, so today I received my extension tubes. So they're pretty much little adapter thingies where you can connect to your camera, then the lens goes here, and it brings your minimum focus distance a lot closer, meaning you can get a lot closer to your subject, whereas sometimes the camera will blur out if you try to push your camera in. Now, when I play with these, I have tried them before, and I didn't really like them. They just really distorts weird images. Sometimes, on rare occasions, they do look good, but I do have a macro lens I already used. When I first had bought this, I only had like 1 or 2 lenses to play with. Now I have like 4 or 5, so I want to try it with every lens I have and see what it works best with. And I'll use my phone and I'll show you guys how to get a little bit better pictures of fish. I won't go too in depth with it because it's going to take a lot of time. So I just want to make this a short video and show you guys my CBD sparring. I just watched them for like 30 minutes before I recorded this, so here we go. Alright, so this is the 85mm. I can only get about, I'm gonna start recording now. I can get about here, and then everything's in focus. If I push in a little bit more, it can't focus anymore because the minimum focus distance is about, I don't know, it says on the lens right here, but that's about maybe 2 feet, 2.5 feet. Everything's in focus right now. When I get closer, it starts getting blurry. So let's put the extension tube on and see how close we can really get. So I want to try the 10mm extension tube. So it extends only 10mm. I tried the 16 and it does not work very good with any of my lenses. So, all right, so I have the 10mm on an 85, and I'm gonna start recording now. So right here is where I got focused, right? I'm gonna push in a little bit closer. Now, the extension tube makes it so my autofocus is a little bit out of whack, so it's a little bit slower. But as you can see though, I'm gonna push in closer and closer and closer until there. There you go. I'm still in focus. So that got me a foot closer. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's still blurry now. Let me see. Right there is the minimum focus distance. So it got me a foot closer. All right, so here I got my 24-70. This is a very big lens, but I use it for a lot of projects because it's really my only zoom lens. I think this thing's about like $2,200, and it's super, sorry, my aligners are crazy. See how close we can get. So let's press record right now. So I'm still in focus, still in focus. Let's try to get this shrimp right here. So I lose focus right about there. So I can get about, I don't know, 8 inches. So if I put focus in on 70, it stays about the same. I don't really have focus there. There you go. So it's about 6 to 8 inches. So let's slap this extension tube on and see how close we can really get. Okay, so before I can get about 6 inches, getting closer here, getting closer, and I lost it. Ooh, if I focus in a little bit more, about, what is that, 70? See, the autofocusing is a little bit crazy. It's trying and it's struggling. But can I get closer? Let's put on manual focus and give it a shot. Just manual focusing on the shrimp. Can I? Okay. There it is. So I'm about, what is that? 4 inches, maybe 3 inches away from the shrimp. That is pretty close. Now that is a macro shot for sure. Wow. That works. I mean, it's super slow to focus, but the fact that I can get that close and get a shrimp shot, I mean, it's worth its weight in gold. I mean, at $30 and you can get that close, whereas I really have to get my 90mm out, my real macro lens. I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So this is my 90mm macro lens. Let's just see how close we can get here. Let me start recording. So there it is. So it's about the same thing, but the macro lens, it really lets you get that 1-to-1 ratio where you don't really get with an extension tube. Wow, that is pretty close. Look at all that algae. So that's what makes this so worth it. That's why I love this 90mm macro lens. Let's try one more lens and I gotta show you the iPhone stuff. All right, so I got the 10mm extension tube with a 24mm f1.4. This is my favorite lens. It's a prime lens, so I can't really zoom in. All it does is shoot really crisp shots. So let's try to get in as close as we can. Like, I'm not even in focus here. Let me start recording. Not in focus, not in focus, still not in focus, still not in focus. Oh, I'm in focus. Wow. Look how close I got. I am dead up on the screen. Now that is pretty sick. Wow, it works. That is pretty cool. So the reason why that's pretty cool is that means I could just bring the extension tube and this lens and I could shoot like a whole, you know, fish unboxing, all the B-roll and all that stuff without bringing this big old thing. Although I like bringing all of my lenses for every single shoot. So just in case, if I forget this one at home and I have these extension tubes in my bag, it works. So let's go on to the phone stuff. So my quick tip with the phone is download a secondary app, a third-party app that lets you control the settings for the iPhone or your phone or whatever. Mine is called ProCam. It really lets me adjust the ISO and the shutter speed. So those are the two most important things you need to know when it comes to shooting with your phone, because the aperture is already fixed at f1.8 and above. You don't need to worry about that, so just let the phone handle it. ISO needs to be set as low as possible. As low as possible. If you have a really bright lit tank, you can go down to 50 to 100. I would never ever pass 200, 250 with an iPhone. Once you pass that mark, you're gonna see grain and it just looks really bad. With the shutter speed, depends on how fast your fish is. If you have a cichlid or something that just stands still, go ahead and use a shutter speed of maybe 30, 1/30 or 1/50. And if you have a fast fish like a guppy, you want to use like 1/200. But the thing is, when you use 1/200, your screen just turns really dark because your shutter is open for a very fast amount of time and it can't let light into the lens. You really have to compensate it with boosting your ISO, but like I said, you never want to go over 250 ISO or 200 ISO. So what do you do when it comes to, you know, introducing light? You get another light. So I have two lights here. You borrow another light from another tank and just stack lights up on your aquarium if you want to get a really good shot with your iPhone. So like I said, the most important thing overall is just controlling that ISO. Like I said, never pass 250, 200, and you'll be fine. But when you're recording video, you always want to use the 180-degree shutter rule, which is if you're shooting at 24 FPS, which I always shoot at because it lets more light in because you're using a lower shutter speed, you want to double your frame rate. So if you're shooting 24, you want to shoot 1/50 shutter speed. And if you're shooting 60 frames per second, you want to use 125 because I don't think there is a 120. So you always want to double that when you're shooting video. But if you're not shooting video and you're just taking pictures, use the shutter speeds that I recommended and always use the ISO that I recommended. So the lower the ISO, the better the image quality. That's why when you're outside, the image always looks way better than when you're inside in low light. So that's my quick tip for you guys today. If you guys found that helpful, or you have any questions, just let me know down below. I hate doing these kind of tutorial things. They need more of a longer video to explain that kind of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna show you guys my CPD sparring for like minutes straight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit the like button and subscribe. I never do that.